Hi, welcome to the first day of awareness. As you saw, I posted that I'm going to do 12 days of awareness. I haven't been on social media for a while, but something was just kind of pushing me to do something. And I saw someone doing the 12 days of Christmas. So I thought, well, I'll do the 12 days of awareness. And I'm starting today because it is the solstice and it's my favorite day of the year. That's because it's the shortest day, and tomorrow the days will get longer. And so it's time to celebrate. And so I thought, what better day to start the 12 days of awareness? So each day I'm going to talk about how to review your year in a way that really gets at your heart's desire and what your soul purpose is. And so I'll spend part of the time talking about looking back, and then the last days will look forward into 2023. So today, the first day of awareness, what I'd like you to do is to take out your day book, your calendar, your phone, whatever it is, and make a list of the events that occurred during the past year. And I just want you to use your head, use your cognition. So you're thinking about, okay, in January, this is what happened, make a list. February, March, throughout the year, and just kind of have a sheet of paper with each month on it. You might need a double sheet of paper so that you can just kind of look at all of the events that occurred in your calendar. And as the days progress, we're going to look a little bit more deeply and a little bit differently at each of those events. So the task today for awareness is simply to look at your year. And I just wanted to share something that one of my clients said to me recently that is so true, is that it's all about awareness. It's about paying attention to what's happening around us and in the world, and then being able to act accordingly. So this is your first day of awareness. Get that calendar out and rediscover 2022. See you tomorrow. Hi, welcome to the second day of awareness. I hope you got a chance to review 2022. For me, I found it a very enlightening exercise because there's so many things that I forgot in terms of what happened during the year. And so it really helped me to get a better sense of the energy of the year, and some of the things I was able to kind of savor the moments and think, oh, I forgot that I did that. And so, but really yesterday was just about, or the first day was, yesterday was really just about using your head to list all of the activities and events and occurrences of 2022. So for the second day of awareness, what I want you to do is I want you to go back and set out your year in front of you and look at it. And what I want you to do is really access your senses. So look at, what did you see? What did you hear? What did you, were there experiences where your sense of touch was involved? What did you smell? What did you taste? As I was looking over the year, there were a few events that really all of my senses were able to enter into, and it just kind of popped up as I was reviewing the year. But today I'm going to use my senses and go into different events, and one of them was going to a winter market, and it was very cold, and so I was feeling very cold, but all of my senses were really heightened because there were so many great smells and colors, and I could hear the people, and we watched a magician, and I loved the laughter, And then we had a hot apple cider. So all of my senses were involved in that. And when all of our senses are involved, we tend to remember events much more viscerally. So I want you to go back and just really use your senses, and as you use your senses to review the year again, you'll become more aware of maybe some of the nuances of the things that happen. So what we're doing in this second day of awareness is taking our awareness a little bit deeper. So it's not just on a cognitive level in a list of, oh, blah, 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 this is what I did, but it's really, it becomes a more lived experience for us. And when our senses are involved, we do notice things that maybe we didn't notice before. So I want you to, for the second day of awareness, is to once again go through the year and use those physical senses that are so important in our lives. So there's the second day of awareness. Enjoy the process. Bye. Welcome to the third day of awareness. If you haven't already figured this out, this is really an awareness about what happened in 2022. And as we become aware of 2022, we will begin to look at how we're going to plan 2023. So today, the third day of awareness, we're actually going to shift into our emotions. Now, when you were doing the senses, I'm hoping that you came up with a real physical experience of some of those memories of this last year. And I really like using colored pencils. So I have my colored pencils, and what I do is I have my year in front of me, and then I take my colored pencils. And so I would write down, okay, what senses were activated in these particular events each month. Today, what I'm going to ask you to do is sink down into your emotions and go back over the year and look at what were the emotions that you were experiencing in the different events that were occurring. Because they're not just items on a list. We have full experiences, and the more aware we are of those experiences, the more we can learn from them, the more we can uncover our belief systems that we carry, the more we can uncover blind spots and patterns. So this step today is about sinking into your emotions. So when I did this exercise, what I really became aware of some of the really painful emotions that I experienced this year. And I'm aware of them, but when I went back, it was as though I was really recognizing the depth of the sorrow and the pain and sadness that occurred for me this year. And I was able to really embrace that. Not wallow in it. It's not about wallowing in it or getting stuck in it. It's just really about seeing the texture and the beauty and the richness of our lives, and realizing it's not just a series of events like a list that we have to do every day. It really is about accessing that richness of life. And then eventually, what will come of this is that we really access the wisdom, our wisdom of living our lives, and that we're not just moving through life in a robotic kind of way. So today, I'm asking you, inviting you to take your year, and this time, maybe with a colored pen, to look at the events that occurred and what were the emotions that were stirring. Another event that I noticed was I was at a play. Dear friends of ours were in a play, grade 6 and grade 7, and the play was just so moving. I found myself in tears, and I'd forgotten that, and so I was able to just really relish that experience and enjoy that memory and how important it is for me to really to access those types of experiences and not get so busy that I don't have time. So that was a little bit of an insight for me, that sometimes I get too busy. So as you're going through each of these days of awareness, you're going to come up with some insights in terms of, again, blind spots, beliefs, barriers, patterns that are prominent in your life. And that's really the goal of this, is to get at those things, so that as we enter into 2023, there's a little bit more freedom, there's a little bit more openness, and there is the ability to be more creative and innovative in terms of where we're going. So have a great third day of awareness. Welcome to the fourth day of awareness. By now, you're probably getting pretty familiar with what you've done in 2022. So today's focus is really about moving to a gut level. Those of you who either have taken my Enneagram program or you know my Enneagram program, there are three areas, three ways of knowing, three types of intelligence: head intelligence, heart intelligence, and gut intelligence. Today, we're going to sink into our gut. And what I'm going to invite you to do is, again, to review your year and think about some of the decisions that occurred as events unfolded for you. And when was your gut instinct involved? We've already just used our head, and some people just know it's the right thing to do cognitively. Some people know it's the right thing to do because their heart tells them, and some people know it's the right thing to do because they have a gut instinct, and that says, yes, this is right or this is wrong. For me, that's probably the most difficult to access. I tend to operate more from my head and then my heart, head first, then heart. And so I don't always trust my gut. So this is a really good exercise for me to go through and really pause to think about, what was my gut instinct about this? So where it may show up for me is that there may be something that I did that didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to, or that I expected it to. And probably what happened was my gut was saying, whoa, slow down a little bit. And I didn't trust it. And so going through the year is not just about what are the events and what happened and how was I feeling, but also where was there maybe a breakdown in terms of things didn't go the way I wanted them to go. So we've got a lot of wonderful things that occurred. And then we've got things that maybe we're not so happy with, that we would like to have turned out differently. Those are the growing points for us. And they're also probably where we're going to find our blind spots and the patterns or habits that we get into that cause us to self-sabotage events. And so we're digging a little bit deeper by going into this next level of, on a gut level, where do I recognize maybe I did something that I should have maybe not done or could have not done. On the other hand, there's also the other side of it, is that trusting your gut when something really turned out. It was like, wow, that was amazing. And I really trusted myself on that. Maybe it was, to do a particular program. I know for me, I really trusted my gut to do a program on intuition. And it was totally the right thing for me to do. And I trusted my gut on it. I was rationalizing, oh my goodness, I shouldn't do it. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have blah, 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 blah. But my gut said I needed to do it. So that really was one event during the year where I really did trust my gut instinct. So for the fourth day of awareness, I'm inviting you to, once again, review the year, but now from the perspective of gut instinct. Now, it may seem a little bit tedious, but get a different color pen and start to circle those events where you really did trust your gut instincts. And so that's the task for the fourth day of awareness. Welcome to the 5th day of awareness. And today is also Christmas Day. So for those of you who are celebrating, Merry Christmas, and I hope you're enjoying the holidays. So today we're going to kind of shift out of the more physical realm of looking at our year. We're going to move into intuition and imagination. So it might seem a little tedious, but I want you to go back to your year and look at what events really were you trusting your intuition or your imagination? So as I was going through the year, I realized that I was talking about the program that I did on the Intuitive Woman, and I really did trust my intuition on that one. And it was wonderful. It was an absolutely amazing program. And I continue to work with my mentor and coach on my intuition and imagination. And I think imagination is really about when we get an idea, we really start to fill it out with our imagination. And so as you look at the year, look at those times when you were very creative and you were using your intuition and your imagination, and notice when that occurred. I know that even doing the 12 days of awareness for me, I just kind of had this inkling. I saw someone do the 12 days of Christmas and I thought, oh, that's really interesting. But it just kind of kept popping up into my head. And I thought, well, let me just sit down and think about this. So I really trusted my intuition on going through this process and taking people through it. And hopefully it will be helpful for them. So it's really about going to a soul level, because imagination and intuition are not like our five senses, which are our physical body. They're not like our mind, our heart, and our gut. They're really about our going to a deeper soul level and what's stirring for us. So it's really about what is stirring and where were those moments during the year where you did trust your intuition, or maybe you didn't trust your intuition, or you didn't use your imagination and things kind of fell short, or you did use your imagination and it was just such an amazing experience. So again, it takes us deeper into an awareness of what were the movements that were going on during the year? What were the invitations? What were we responding to during the year? So that is the 5th day of awareness. Hi, welcome to the 6th day of awareness. And if you're sticking with it, that's really amazing. I'm hoping you will stick with it to the end. So the 6th day of awareness is going to sound a little bit crazy, but it's really about asking yourself the question, what did I miss? And so going back, now that we've used our mind, we've used our senses, we've used our heart, we've used our gut instincts, and we've used our intuition and imagination, we have a fuller picture of what happened during 2022. And now I just want you to go back with no expectations and just ask yourself, what did I miss as I was reviewing my year? It's quite interesting to do that exercise, because it takes us into another level of awareness. We have a deeper awareness now. I have a deeper awareness of 2022. And as I was looking at, well, what did I miss? There were some really interesting things that popped up for me that were not necessarily in my day book. They weren't on my radar. And they came up, and a couple of them were just really joyful events that had occurred that I might have missed had I not done this exercise. And I mean, another one just popped into my head that wasn't really a great experience. However, I'm also starting to recognize that it's probably a pattern that I need to look at in terms of how this year went. So today sounds again a little bit tedious, but I promise you it will take you into another level of awareness that will prepare you to really take a different approach to how you are, might want to say, setting your goals or setting the trajectory into 2023. So again, spread out your year, have a look at it, get a different colored pencil and or pen and just kind of write in the kinds of things that maybe you forgot. I've got my blue pen for those things that are missing, and that now, as I have a fuller picture of the year, are significant. And so good luck with today, day 6 of awareness, the 6th day of awareness. Welcome to the 7th day of awareness. So you've spent 6 days really getting a sense of what you were up to in 2022. Today, I want you to begin to look at patterns and habits and beliefs. So with a stance of curiosity, I want you to, once again, look over your year and ask yourself the question, what patterns do you recognize that occurred over this year for you? Patterns that have supported you, and maybe patterns that have hindered you in achieving your desires and goals, or maybe have slowed you down or sabotaged you. Also, what distractions were there? Identify those. Again, looking at your year, what distractions kept you from achieving your desires and goals? But the thing about distraction is that sometimes the distraction isn't bad. So were there distractions that kind of brought you back to your goals and desires? And then what were the habits that maybe you want to change for 2023? Habits that you're now maybe more aware of from 2022. So again, it's really looking a little bit more closely at what happened over this year. The second thing I want you to do today is I want you to think about cycles. We all go through cycles. We all have a circadian rhythm, our waking and sleeping cycle, that determines our what happens to us every day. Some people have a difficult time with the sleep, but we still have that circadian rhythm going on. We also have weekly cycles. We have our weekday and we have our weekends. We have monthly cycles, and those are impacted by those. We are impacted by the moon during those cycles, and it's not just menstruating women who are impacted by those lunar cycles. We all are. Then, of course, there are yearly cycles. For example, for me, I'm very aware of shifting a cycle in January, in June, and in September. So January is kind of a normal one for many people because it's the beginning of the year. And so it's a time to pause, reflect, get into a different gear, get back in touch with, okay, what are my desires for this year? June is my birthday. And I always pause to kind of look back. Okay, what was I up to during this past orbit of the sun? And then September, whether I was in school or I was working in an academic setting, September is very significant for me. It feels like a new beginning. And so those I know are 3 significant beginnings of cycles for me. So just think about what are your cycles? Because again, the more aware we are, the more choice we have, the freer we are to really access our desires and bring them to fruition. And our cycles impact our mood, our energy, our eating, our sleeping, our focus, and much, much more, everything about us. So going to get in touch with beliefs, patterns, habits, and cycles today. So that's for the 7th day of awareness. All 1 year. 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 1 ye Welcome to the 8th day of awareness. Over the last 7 days, we've been looking at the past year, 2022, and deepening our awareness of what we were up to, who we were being, and patterns and cycles, and using our whole physical as well as intuitive self, our soul self, to figure out, to figure out what we were up to and be much more aware of the nuances of what happened over the year. Today, for the 8th day of awareness, what I'd like you to do is take a little bit of time and just start to go deeper and sit with, what are your goals? What are your desires for 2023? And just spend a little bit of time with the background of last year and begin to lead you into what are you wanting to, who are you wanting to be? What are you wanting to accomplish? What are you wanting to pay attention to? Maybe what patterns need to shift for you? What beliefs do you really want to embrace? So you're really beginning to look into 2023. And just take a little bit of time to sit with that. You might want to do some meditation, do some journaling, and get some of those ideas down in front of you as you move through the 8th day of awareness. See you tomorrow. Welcome to the 9th day of awareness. I have to confess that I keep wanting to say the 9th day of Christmas, and as I prepare for each of these, I want to break into song and I want to sing the 12 days of Christmas, but I won't put you through that. So today, welcome to the 9th day of awareness. So today, having spent some time meditating on your desires for 2023 and your goals that you want to accomplish, whether it's doing something or just the way that you're going to be in the world, I want you to now really set down your intentions for 2023. I want you to sit down and write out what are those intentions. And if you have time, to begin to put together a vision board. Now, you could draw, you could do it on Canva, you could do it in a sketchbook, whatever you feel called to do. But start to not only put into words, but to put into images what it is that you are intending, your intentions for 2023. So that might take you a little bit of extra work, and you might want to spread that out over a number of days. But I want you to, I invite you to begin to put down on paper your intentions and begin to vision what it is that you want to accomplish in 2023. And that is the 9th day of awareness. Welcome to the 10th day of awareness. You've done a lot of work. You've looked at 2022 from many angles, from your physical senses to your intuitive senses. You've looked at what's happened, what you've missed. You've started to look at beliefs and patterns and blind spots. And you've made a clearing in order to begin to look at your goals, your desires, and your intentions. And hopefully you've had a chance to create a vision board or something that will represent what it is that you intend to do for 2023. Today, I'm inviting you to take all of that in your imagination and bring it forward to December 2023. And I want you just to close your eyes and imagine that you are sitting, maybe in your living room, maybe if you have a little quiet corner for yourself, a meditation area, or perhaps you sit outside, depending on the weather. And I want you to imagine that you have accomplished the goals you've set out, that you have received your heart's desires, that your intentions have been fulfilled, that you have been the person that you have intended to be for 2023. And I want you to use all of your senses, everything, to imagine that you are in the future. You know, your imagination has no sense of past, present, or future. So we can live ourselves into the future. We can live ourselves into those intentions, those goals, those deepest desires that we have. And we can imagine ourselves into them. And by doing so, we clear our mind, we clear the space in order to acquire and achieve and be those things that we want to be. So today is a little bit of a bigger task, a little quieter. So if you can find a space on this day, this 10th day of awareness, take some time to do this meditation and see where it takes you. And I'll see you tomorrow for the 11th day of awareness. Welcome to the 11th day of awareness. On this last day of 2022, it just seems appropriate that our 11th day of awareness is on gratitude. And I invite you to move into this stance of gratitude today, considering 2022, all of the things that have happened to you, that you've been engaged in, the opportunities, the invitations, perhaps even the things that maybe weren't so great, but there were lessons that you learned. And to really embrace all that you experienced, the grace, the not so great things, the hard things that you experience, just put them all out in front of you and bring back that awareness of the year that you worked on in the first 7 or 8 days, and really bring to mind all of the things that you're grateful for. Eckhart Tolle said, if your only prayer in all of your life is thank you, that is enough. Welcome to the 12th day of awareness, and congratulations. If you have followed this through till now, I think that you've had a very interesting journey examining 2022, beginning to design 2023. And I want to remind you that this is ongoing, that the meditation that you did about being in December 2023, I would suggest that you do that periodically. Review your vision board, review your intentions, and sit down and meditate on having accomplished and fulfilled and received those desires and intentions and goals. But today isn't about that. Today is about celebration. We're in the new year. It's 2023. We're closing a chapter of our lives, 2022, and we're opening a new one. So it's a time to celebrate. It's a time to really embrace the new, embrace your vision board, embrace all of the things that you desire for this year, and begin to live into the future, into your future, living now, but always knowing where you're going. I hope you've enjoyed the 12 days of awareness. If you're interested in learning more about awareness, taking my workshop, or doing the Enneagram program, or in my new program, Beliefs, Barriers, and Breakthroughs, you can find me on Facebook, you can find me on Instagram, or soon to be up my new website, journeytoinnerwisdom.ca. And also listen to my podcast, Journey to Inner Wisdom. I'll be starting it again in a couple of weeks in January. I have 26 episodes that you can go back and have a listen to. And I've got some great guests that I've had over this past year. So Happy New Year. I hope you will celebrate. And I hope you will continue to be aware as you walk on this journey to inner wisdom.